Maybe at the age of 18.
18 years.
I think from the age of 12.
From 18 years.
As soon as a child can read and write.
My name is Joseph Evans and this is Eyes on the Street. Should children have mobile phones and access to social media or not? This has been a subject of debate online in the past few weeks. Follow me as I hit the streets to hear the people's view.
Social media is good, but we choose to abuse it one way or the other. You encourage your children to be given a mobile phone at a certain age. If it had been a phone that is a landline at home, would have been better. You don't know what the children is doing with the phone out there. So there's need to be a sensitization for the children on how to use it, even before they even step out of the home to start making it outside there. Because they tend to abuse you. You don't know the kind of people they are working, they are mingling with. They tend to spoil their mind, corrupt the mind, and then abuse the social use of that phone. So me, I will advise that at a certain age, probably from age of 18, that child might have that sense of belonging, that okay, it can distinguish between wrong and right. Then it can be free to make use of it. At least might have started secondary school at that level.
Well, I feel children should be given phones, but then they should be restricted to social media network. For example, just like when you are watching DSTV, and then you see there's parental control. So I feel that parents should have control on what social network platforms, in fact, not just social network platforms, all the social network platforms, children should be restricted to social network platforms. I believe that giving them phone help them to learn smarter. For example, they can be able to research on their assignments using their mobile phone or their tablets. But when it comes to social network, I feel that they should be restricted.
It's not allowed to give a child a phone as a tender age. Like my children, you can see them, they are using phone, not even a Android phone. And what they always use the phone for is always watching cartoon, not to go through other media and watching like all this like blue film is not allowed at all. As even as a Christian and even as a children, the way you want to grow your children, you nurture them as a tender age. Not allow them to be watching what people, maybe especially the social media, whatever people are saying, this thing is good. For me, I don't allow my children watching anyhow film. They watch a Christian movie and they also watch a cartoon. A cartoon they always watch is the one that can always say children, at least their own age. That is what I allow them to watch at home.
The age in which a child should have a phone, even the normal sense should let us know that a young child should not have a phone at early age. There are security behind it. There's a disadvantage and advantage towards it. The disadvantage part of it is more dangerous than the limitation. In the sense that a child at less than 18 years, if you go into social media, you have some dangerous parts of which that child may lose his or her life there, may lose his destiny through that area. So for me, I'm advised before a child should have a phone, it should be more than 18 years.
They can be given a mobile phone maybe when their parents are not around, in order for them to reach out to their parents when they have an emergency at home. And social media, I think when they have an assignment to do in school, I think it's a good time for them to use social, and they should be guided as well while using a mobile phone to run through social media.
So because when we talk of children, we talk of below 1 to 17 years, or let's say below 1 to 12 years, because from 13 years they are teen. So from 1 to 12 years, there's no reason of giving them phone. And for them to have access to social media, no. Because most of the things they see, they get attracted to it. I know most of the things, most of the vices that product through the social media. Even adults find it difficult to consume them, talk of children. So I'm not in support of giving children access to social media. Then in terms of phone, I will say no to that until when they come up to teen. Then you can give them all this phone, maybe not all these iPhones or camera phones, so that they will not have it. They can use it only for communication. I will buy a land phone for them so that you can have easy communication. Because if you give them access to all these iPhones, you know, definitely they will get into social media. So you just avoid that.
Mobile phone per se is not so bad for children. Social media these days, they have a lot of influence, both negative and positive influence. The only thing is that I am in support that children should be allowed access to mobile phone, but under parents' guide, so that they will monitor what their children are doing on the net. Because even if you don't allow them to have access to it in the home, their friends, when they go out, there are some children, there are some young children, they have phones and they hide it. I have had experience where a child, a teenager has phone without the consent of the parents, and she hides it. Whenever she goes out of the house, she uses it. But if they are being given free hand to use it in the home, you'll be able to monitor their communication, because who they communicate with, like things like WhatsApp, text messages, and all the rest of them, you will go through it and you know what they are really into.
So there should be an age regulation, and there should be a description or an orientation to the generation, because this has actually made them to focus on what they are not supposed to be focusing on. And this also has defocused them from concentrating on how to build their self-esteem. It has affected them socially and otherwise. So it's really alarming right now, because this generation are called the instant gratificational generation, whereby whatever thing they'll need, by just going instantly, they can always get it. And because of that, they are not patient. They are not a working process people. They just want to get everything they want to get. And that is why the rise of ritual killing, Yahoo, and all of that is all going, because all of them, whatever, they're all seeing that all those things are instantly being gotten on internet.
You've seen and you've heard the people's opinion on whether or not a child should have access to social media and have a mobile phone. Follow us on all our social media platforms, like and share. I am Joseph Evans, and this is Eyes on the Street.